Assalamu alaikum. Miss Fatma is speaking. How you doing? I hope you are okay and in good health. Today, inshallah, we will continue to discuss about developing effective study habits. The second part of this chapter, okay, how to study. Reading and studying textbooks. As soon as you buy your textbook and for a class, it's very necessary to read the table of contents, preface, introduction, and any other upfront material in the book. Leaf through the book and see what it contains. Read the captions, read the chapter titles, and go to the back of the book to see if there is a glossary and index, answers to quizzes given through the text, etc. before you are going to class. Get familiar with your book. Treat it like a tool you want to use, okay, with proficiency. To get the most out of your reading, it's very necessary to follow these steps. Okay, first, preview the chapter. What do you mean by preview the chapter? Yes, preview the chapter by looking at headings, subheadings, topic sentences, bold-faced and italicized words, pictures, diagrams, graphs, summarizes, and review questions at the end. Okay, secondly, ask yourself questions about the headings. Okay, third, read a section of the chapter. Put the book down and ask yourself what you just read. Did you understand what it was about? Could you answer questions about it? Could you illustrate it to someone else? Continue reading and stopping to think about what you just read. Ask yourself questions about that. Fourth, don't skip any part of the chapter. Okay? By reading the sidelines, the captions, under photos, definitions, and any additional information the author has included. It's all there to help you learn and study. Fifth, don't be afraid to mark your text. Use different colored highlighters for particularly important parts, but don't defeat the purpose of highlighting by overdoing it, just for the most important parts of that text. Okay, sixth, outline the chapter. Outline the chapter. When you have read the chapter through, go back and take notes, define terms, draw diagrams, and explain things in your own words. Okay? Make up memory tricks to help you remember new terms. For example, if you are studying the part of the brain called the hippocampus, okay, hippocampus, you may use a memory trick of association, picturing a hippo with a good memory, since the hippocampus deals with memory formation, for example. Okay. Seventh, draw arrows or other symbols to direct you to important details or definitions. If a word appears that you don't know, okay, just try to look it up, okay, in dictionary, and write the definition in the margin underlying key points. Okay, it's very necessary, okay, to identify the meaning of unknown words and definition of them in the margin. Okay. Okay. SQ3R method of reading. The following method of reading called the SQ3R method, okay, reading, yes, was developed to help people read faster and study better. It is similar to the information you just read with some added details. So this way you can study, okay, from books. Yes. And this way or this method of studying focus on the key information in books. Its unique approach is that it prioritizes information using a method that directly relates to how you will be asked to use that information in an exam. Yes. This, okay, you can use this method when you're studying from books in the SQ3R, okay, and this yes, and this method have 5 steps. Technique stands for survey, question, read, recite, review. Okay, again, this, okay, SQ3R method of reading, okay, have 5 steps. Technique, okay, stands for survey, question, read, recite, review. Yes. Survey. S, okay, is for survey. This step takes only a few minutes. Go through the chapter quickly, glance at the chapter title, the introduction headings, and summary paragraphs, if any. Notice any pictures, diagrams, graphs, tables, etc. Read and bold print. Okay. Survey means start big and then go small. Survey the whole book, then the chapters, and finally the paragraphs. Also, look at the titles, headings, and subheadings, picture captions, charts, graphs, or maps, introductory and concluding paragraphs, and any summarizes. Okay, the aim of this, okay, step is to get the general gist, the general idea of the material. Okay, and okay, another advantage of this, okay, step, it creates an interest in what is coming up. It motivates and evokes you to read less interesting material to get to the good stuff. Okay, this step saves your time by reducing the amount of time it takes to read the chapter. So it's very necessary, okay, to do this step, to follow this step. Okay, question. Q is for question. Yeah? Yes. Q is for question. Before you begin reading a section, turn the heading into a question. Okay? Yes. For example, if the heading is basic causes of stress, your question would be, what are the basic causes of stress? This evokes your curiosity and increases your comprehension and understanding. Also, it brings to mind information you already know. The questions you ask help make important points stand out as you read. This forces you to think about what you are reading. Okay, I'll give you more simplification about that. By questioning the text, you turn it from a passive activity to an active one. By asking yourself, for example, by asking yourself, why are you reading this and what is its purpose? What do you already know? What do you want to know? What is new or interesting about this material? Does this support, supplement, contradict what I read, what I already know? Okay. Try converting the title, headings, and subheadings into questions. For example, okay, uh, yes, you have some examples, okay, some questions, okay, you could ask include, what do I already know about this subject? How does this chapter relate to the assignment question? How can I relate what I read to my own experiences? Okay, by that. Okay, طيب. R is for read. Read the material. Okay. Read the material under the heading with the purpose of getting the answer to your question. Read you with concentration. Identify the main ideas and highlight or underline them. Read sections at a time and stop to ask questions. To ask questions, yes, ask yourself what you just read. If you can answer your question, okay, read on. If not, look it over again. Okay? So, read all the material, concentrating on the information that best relates to the questions you formulated in the previous step. Okay, Q is for question. Okay? Yes. So, after questioning, you will be ready for the main activity of reading. This includes careful consideration of what the writer is trying to convey and includes being critical and active. Firstly, skim read concentrating on the main ideas and general text structure. Secondly, read again to make notes on the key points. Look for answers to the questions you raised okay, and in the step of the Q is for questions. Make sure you reread any parts which are unclear. Yes. A good practice for more difficult reading is to do an outline of chapter in your notes. By leaving extra space, you can fill in details during the class lectures. Yes, make note of a new vocabulary and write definitions in your notes. Okay. R is for recite. R is for recite. Yes. This step requires that you recite out loud the answer to the question you asked prior to reading a section of the text. Say it in your own words. If you find you can't answer your question, return and look for the answer. Then try again. By this way, you will know if you have understood the material or not. Besides answering your questions, look away from the book and try to state in your own words what the reading is about. Okay. R is for review. Okay. The final step in the SQ3R method is to review the material that you have recalled in your notes. Okay, asking yourself, okay, did you understand the main principles of the argument? Did you identify all the main points? Are there any gaps? Okay, so after you have read the entire chapter, look over the notes you made to familiarize yourself with the important information. Check your memory by reciting the main points out loud. Yes. Don't wait until exam time to review your textbook. Review once a week all the readings from that week. Be sure you can summarize the key points, write them down to further reinforce learning. So it's very necessary to pay attention, okay, that you haven't missed anything of importance. There is sometimes a temptation to miss out pieces of information and associated questions that cover areas we don't enjoy or we find hard. Finally, make up test questions from what you have read. Be sure to write them. Okay? Before to discuss the advantages of the SQ3R method, let's to give you a sample, a sample 7-day plan for using the SQ3R method that you might like to use. Remember, it can be and indeed should be adapted for your own individual needs. Okay, first day, try to read the text, formulate potential questions. Okay, in the second day, review the important points you have highlighted. Answer the questions you formulated on the first day. Make a queue or flashcards. You could do this for all the questions or just those you find difficult. Condense and summarize any other information using one of the methods. Okay, keywords, tree structure, spider diagrams, mind maps, or concept maps. Okay, in days 3, 4, and 5, you can alternate between your condensing method and notes and test yourself orally or in writing on the questions you formulated. Add additional condensed material if required. Okay, and in days 6 and 7, list the topics and subtopics for each chapter. Create a map for each element or each part. So, by this way, I think you will have a summary of the whole book or lecture notes. Okay. Okay, what are the advantages of the SQ3R method? SQ3R method of reading sets the stage for interacting with the text material. Okay, as you go through the 5 steps, you are gaining information. Okay, go through the 5 steps. Okay, these steps is survey, question, read, recite, and review. You are gaining information, formulating questions, thinking about what you are reading, and trying to find answers to your questions. Also, you are reciting and writing information out loud. All of these, okay, all of these steps require the use of your auditory, visual, and kinesthetic senses. Okay, these 3 learning styles. Okay, auditory, I hear, I forget. I see, I remember. I do, I understand. So, when more senses are involved, more effective learning takes place. The more sense you use, the stronger and the better you remember and understand the information, so you can improve your study habits by developing all 3 elements, three learning styles. Okay, here we have some additional tips for reading textbooks. Okay, you can follow these steps. The first one is knowing. Okay, the first one is knowing what to read by following your syllabus or list of assignments. Yes, the second step is dividing chapters into readable chunks. Reading 10 pages at a time will seem manageable compared to reading in a 40 pages. Yes, you can break the chapter into small parts. Just 10 pages, in dozens, 10 pages, and identify a time for each part of it. Always preview the chapter before you read. It's very necessary to always preview the chapter before you read. It's very necessary to get general glance to the whole chapter, to gain the general idea of it before you start to read. If your text has any practice test, do them. This help you to identify to what extent you understand from this chapter. Pay particular attention to the essay questions. If you can answer them, you will have a good grasp of the information in the chapter. Moving from short term to long term memory. The key to remembering what you study is to move information from the temporary short-term memory to the long-term memory. Yes, visualize. Visualize, what do you mean by visualize? This means you like to see something and learn it. For example, if you learn how to change a tire on a car, you would prefer to see it being done rather than just to be told about it or follow a set of instructions. So try to see what you are reading. Get a feel for the subject. Make it come alive for you. If you read about insects, try to feel them wiggle in your hand and imagine sounds they might make. The more sense you use, the stronger and the better you remember the information. Okay, highlight, mark, underline, and deface your text. Okay, make it a tool to work with. Write questions and comments in the margin. Okay, after that you can talk about it. Okay, talk about it. You are okay. Talk about what you are reading. Share the information with others. This helps to reinforce and enhance learning and proves whether or not you understand the information. Okay, by this way, and help you to identify to what extent you understand, okay, from the text. Talk about what you are studying. The best place to do this in a study group with your partners where you can discuss the material, quiz each other, and share information. It's very important, and by this way will enhance cooperative and collaborative. Okay, review. Review, it's very important, okay, to review and review again. Go over notes, outlines, and the text. Read the highlighted parts out loud. Develop a habit of regular review to move information, okay, from your short term to long term memory, okay. Use and your use, okay, sorry, use your notes. Use your notes, and if note taking is a weak area for you, you can review the study skills model on note taking. The following tips are also helpful for you. Okay, the first one, add to your notes. Okay, add to your notes by supplement the notes you talk in class with extra material from the text and handouts. You can make mix among, okay, the notes and that you are recite and write after the doctor in the lecture, and okay, the extra material and information you will find in the text and handouts. Always leave plenty of extra space in your notes and for this. Yes, define terms heard in a class. Okay, for example, when you hear unfamiliar, okay, unknown words in a class, you can put them, okay, in the margin, and after you return to your home, you can, okay, look, okay, them, look, okay, about, okay, look the meaning of them in the dictionary, okay, and yes, you can, okay, search for the meaning, the definition, okay, and okay, of them, and to know the correct spelling and definition, okay, okay, of them, and write, okay, in your notes. Yes, clean up or rewrite your notes. This means that if notes are too scribbled or difficult to read, copy them again. Okay, just in a by practice, you will master them. Summarize your notes. Okay, at the end of each in a topic or chapter, you can, okay, summarize and condense your notes. Okay, done. Create review tools. Okay, by creating review tools, okay, this will help you make studying more interesting and effective. You can design your own tools or work with a group, okay, or a study partner to develop them. Okay, you can follow one of these suggestions, okay, for study tools, concept maps, or study checklist. Okay, okay, study checklist, okay, means to make a list of all the topics you are going to study and check off as you go along. Okay, type. Sorry. A concept maps. Concept maps means create a visual diagram of your notes with the central topic at the top middle of the paper and the remaining concepts branching off from the central points. Okay, this is an example about concept, okay, about concept maps, concept mapping, sorry. Yes. Yes. Okay. This is an example about concept mapping. For example, concept mapping, okay, is a purposeful because because maps get you somewhere. Maps show dead ends, side routes, and roads leading off map. Concept mapping can be a non-linear outline, okay, can lead to linear outlines. Concept mapping is a process with steps. Yes. Also is a discussion tool that can be informal and democratic. For example, people's ideas are included. Yes. For example, yes, concept mapping helps you, okay, organize thoughts, ideas, new ideas can emerge. Yes. Concept mapping helps you plan writing. Plan writing, you have tools of it. These tools can, okay, yes, give you a new, yes, writing tool. Okay, by writing tool, okay, you can have new ideas can emerge like that. So concept mapping, okay, is a way of representing relationships between ideas, okay, images or words in the same way that a road map represents the locations of highways and towns, or a circuit diagram would show the working of an electrical appliance. In concept mapping, yes, in a concept map, each word or phrase connects to another, like that, yes, and links back to the original idea, word, or a phrase. Yes, by this way, okay, you can develop logical thinking and study skills by revealing connections and helping you see how individual ideas form a large picture like this picture. Yes? So, concept maps were developed to enhance meaningful learning in the sciences, and concept map forms, okay, from a clearly defined, okay, yes, and the concept map can be defined as a focus question. Thank you. Wishing you all the best success in both labs.